Hello there once again, my name is Tom and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now in this video we're gonna talk all about Ethereum. And yes, we see the Bitcoin chart right here opened, but we're gonna move to Ethereum really fast. And this is gonna be a really, I don't know how long this video is gonna be, but I really wanna cover everything. I really wanna cover the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum conceptually in like 3 seconds. Then I really wanna talk about the technicals and the technical analysis of currently of Ethereum and what is coming for Ethereum from the macro standpoint and everything that they were doing with rollups, with sharding, with basically the merge, the transition to proof of stake instead of proof of work, and just put it all in simple layman terms, because again, when you're studying these things online, it just sometimes seems like it's in a different language. So if you agree with me, then let me know down in the comments. So this video is probably going to be longer than other ones, but it's going to be a super useful one. It's going to give you an insane insight into what you can expect from Ethereum in the coming weeks, months, and even years. And we're gonna, at the end, we're gonna answer whether I believe that Ethereum can actually outperform Bitcoin in terms of its market capitalization and become the biggest coin out there. And the actual concept and the actual findings might be surprising to you. So let's take this top to bottom approach, start with the smallest things, and work our way towards the roadmap of Ethereum and what's going on and what you can expect from it. And as always, if you're brand new to the channel, please hit that like button. Just small token of support and appreciation for me. And if you want to dislike it at the end of the video, so be it. Dislike it if that's what you want to do. And also, as always, please hit that subscribe button if you're brand new to the channel, and also hit that notification bell, very important, so that you're always notified when I make a new upload, because these ones you have to watch them from the beginning and until the end if you want to really get anything out of these videos. And yeah, so without any further ado, let's just jump right into it. Yes guys and girls, also down in the description of this video there is a link to my free Telegram channel, a great trading community which you can join. It's free, a lot of cool discussions, people to meet, and oftentimes I post much faster in Telegram than I do on YouTube. So, and the Bitcoin trade is still open over on Bybit, and as always, real quick, Bybit shill. If you want to be trading actively, then look no further than Bybit, Ethereum, any altcoin or Bitcoin, whatever. They have been voted as the most transparent crypto exchange in the world back in 2021, and with my exclusive link, only with my link down in the description or in the pinned comment, you can claim up to $4,100 in free bonuses. And there is also an instruction video of how to claim that bonus so that you are never confused, and also 0% maker fees for 30 days, which is insane. So use that bonus and you are welcome. Okay, so Bitcoin, as you might remember, just let's briefly cover it and then move on to Ethereum. So we've had this breakout right here in this instance. We entered into a long trade, and so far it's in a profit, but as I told you in the previous video today, and watch it if you haven't seen it, and also somewhere here I'm gonna link a video tutorial to Bybit if you want to learn how to use Bybit, by the way. So use the link somewhere here, but after you watch this video till the end. So my current stop loss, I just moved it to about 29,400. So in this instance, if it just turns around and goes down in this side movish way of price action, which is just not very cool, then I'll be just stopped out of a small loss. So that's a quick update. But so far our target number one, 30k, 30k 600, and then $32,000 here. So 3 take profit areas right there. Okay, let's move on to Ethereum. And let's start with taking a look at the chart and what's going on. I just cleaned it up a little bit, and so that you guys and girls can take a look. And let's cover the technicals first before we get into all the juicy stuff and what we can expect from it in a short-term perspective as well as long-term perspective. So right now we are at a very important level, which is $1,700 right here. It has been important for us for a long time, since basically 2021, and many confirmations, and we just bounced off of it right here. So, and that's where we are standing. And also we have important support of this downward channel that we are seeing also in the daily chart and this a resistance of this downward channel as well. So this is something that is just very obvious, and this is what we're all looking at. If we're also gonna flip on the 50-day moving average, which is the closest one coming in, if we're gonna see some kind of a relief rally, which we might, and you're gonna see why in this video as well. So in this instance, you know, guys and girls, I was thinking, you know, Bitcoin, Ethereum is already trading at from the all-time high at about 65% discount. So that was, I was thinking, should I just put in a long trade over on Bybit? And a lot of my students at downscroller.com, by the way, also have put in their long trades on Ethereum. But I decided to just buy some Ethereum at this level. So if we go lower, I'm just gonna dollar cost average. So I did not put in a long trade on Ethereum, which you can do over on Bybit as well. But just like I did with Bitcoin, but for Ethereum, I just decided to buy some. Because if we're gonna take a look at the general idea, what we are seeing right now is we potentially could see a bit of side movish activity and then potential climb and retest of 2150 right here, which was a very important key market level, and also find our way to the retest of about $2,800. So, and for that reason, we really need a catalyst event. We really need a reason for it to happen, because remember that Fed is tightening their monetary policy right now. It's quantitative tightening, so a lot of the money is getting destroyed. And not the money printer is off. So it's always a good catalyst event for high risk assets to rally when we see the money printer is being off on. But right now we are seeing the opposite. So Fed is fighting inflation. So we really need to stick to other catalyst events, and those can be what we're going to discuss in just a second, which is the merge of Ethereum from proof of work to proof of stake, which is absolutely huge. And quite honestly, I believe that this could be the biggest halving cycle, so to speak, halving event for Ethereum that oftentimes is seen in Bitcoin, like every 4 years or so. I think that, you know, when a lot of people are saying that I bought Bitcoin before the halving, the same thing people will be saying that I bought Ethereum before the merge. So, and yeah, that's why it's so big. But there are certainly certain issues that we can face, and if the merge is gonna be unsuccessful and it's gonna be delayed again and again, then we certainly cannot really expect anything. But remember that the merge of Ethereum has been planned for literally for the whole history of Ethereum, because the founder Vitalik Buterin, he actually was planning to move it to proof of stake because it's more, and we're gonna talk about the benefits of proof of stake for many years, and it has always been delayed. But right now, actually, we are finally seeing some movement, and it seems like it's going to happen in August, or potentially at the latest till the end of this year, which is going to be absolutely huge. And we could, for reasons which I'm going to mention in this video, we could see insane rally in Ethereum, which could by far outperform Bitcoin in terms of performance, and subsequently also market capitalization possibly as well. In hindsight, we have to also always entertain both possibilities. So if it's going to fail, let's just cover real quick our other options. If it's going to fail and we're not going to see a merge, or there's going to be some huge issues that are impossible to overcome, then we certainly can expect the retest of lower levels. And when you're going to ask me, like, Thomas, what are the lower levels? Unfortunately, it's probably going to be around $1,000, because $1,000 level, this green one right here, is going to be just more or less a psychological one. And then the next one would be, and potentially we would stop at $1,000, but not necessarily, because statistically, Ethereum is still an altcoin, and it can drop 90% in a bear market just like any other altcoin. And we've seen this previously, which I don't really believe in, but this could be at about $400 as the worst case scenario for Ethereum. Because if we're gonna flip on VPVR, volume profile, then we're gonna, let's just put on this one right here. And then if we're gonna go back, now let's actually do it like this. Then we're gonna see that the most volume, that the biggest volume coming in on the way is gonna be at about $600, and then the biggest one for $400. So, and that would also constitute about a 91% drop. And we all know, guys and girls, that if we're gonna go back into the previous bull run and the previous bear market, that Ethereum actually dropped 95%. But certainly you could argue saying that Ethereum has evolved so much, and with all the things that they're currently doing and all the things that are going to be mentioned in this video, it's not possible for us to see this kind of a correction in Ethereum. And I would be inclined to agree, as long as the merge goes as planned, no further delays, and the sharding is going to happen as well. So let's get into these things, because I've prepared a bunch of stuff really. But before we get into that, let me just quickly let's quickly take a look at Ethereum Bitcoin. And this is basically, you can say, like the relation between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let's turn off the moving average, which is irrelevant in this case. And we're gonna see that we have consistently formed higher lows and also higher highs when it comes to the relation of Bitcoin and Ethereum. So Ethereum is strengthening against Bitcoin. And right now, for us to actually cancel out this model, we would need to see the price go below this mark right here of 0.0161. So in like basically in the relation, like Ethereum dominance chart, if you will. So this is something that currently is under question, and certainly we could form a pattern like this once we finally see this catalyst event of the merge happening and becoming successful and going far past this all-time high, which was at about 1 ETH was trading at 0.16 Bitcoin. So, and we could actually see this go far higher, but we're going to talk about this in just a second. So even historically, since 2015, we are seeing a huge uptrend in the relation between Bitcoin and Ethereum. And the question is really why? And the answer is quite simple, guys and girls, and that is because Bitcoin has been created by some mysterious Satoshi Nakamoto, whatever, and that, nobody knows who that person is, or a group of people, and where they are, and whether they even exist. And they are not really developing the Bitcoin blockchain anymore. It's just the way it is. So for that reason, it's actually a good thing in terms of, nobody can manipulate it, destroy it, or, change it suddenly. So it's in this sense, it's a very good narrative. However, and so that fuels the narrative of store value, of Bitcoin being the digital gold. However, on the other side, we have Ethereum, which is not just the store value. It's also the team is there, they're doing things, they are really strong, and they actually are improving it and making their cryptocurrency, which is Ethereum, more usable in the world and more sustainable in a sense, and more technologically advanced. So for that reason, when one is developing and the other one is not, it's obvious that the first one that is developing has an upper hand in this sense. So let's move to this. Yeah, so basically the difference between Ethereum and Bitcoin is the fact that Bitcoin is nothing more than a currency, and this is also the main difference, where Ethereum is a ledger technology that companies are using to build new programs. And also a lot of the things have to do with NFTs and also metaverse, and all the things that are showing up, it's all a lot of the stuff is done on Ethereum. So that's why it's has a lot more utility to it than, for example, Bitcoin. And both Bitcoin and Ethereum operate on what is called blockchain technology. However, Ethereum is far more robust. So that's the thing number one. Let's move on to the next thing, and that is going to be, let's talk about the merge of Ethereum merging to proof of stake. And a lot of people are saying that that the Ethereum's merge FOMO isn't priced in. So the fact that the market isn't really believing in it yet, perhaps, so that is marking a spike to $2,600 as a possibility. And also, if we're gonna take a look at all these things previously, let's just see here. So basically, many indexes and relative strength index as well is basically showing us that we are at the bottom, like the lowest since March 2018 in the composite index, and also lowest since March 2019 in terms of relative strength index, which just basically shows us that already at this price, Ethereum, and without the merge and without the sharding that is coming and all the improvements to their blockchain, Ethereum is already at this point with what they have right now is already undervalued. So So this is an interesting thing to take a look at. But now let's talk about the move of Ethereum from proof of work, which requires, as you might know, it's all about mining and computer power, which is very bad for the environment. For, you know, a lot of people are criticizing it right now, and especially in the United States. We've recently seen New York trying to ban certain ways of Bitcoin mining. So in this sense, Ethereum, they realized that many years ago, and they really wanted to move proof of stake, which uses the validation for the validation of the transactions, which is basically what mining is for. They use, instead of mining, they're going to switch to proof of stake. So using the coins on the blockchain as validators of the transactions. And also, let's just quickly take a look at other pros of switch to POS, and basically proof of stake also encourages scalability and security of Ethereum network while also enhancing its decentralization. So that's also a huge thing. You know, it's like POW is the old world and POS is the new world. And basically POS is more energy efficient. Well, that's obvious. I mean, the carbon footprint, or basically, you know, the effect on environment and the use of, you know, the electricity is going to drop like 100-fold. So basically it's going to go from 100 down to 1 maybe. So it's going to be an insane cut in terms of, you know, and it's going to put Ethereum in good terms with the governments. So governments will be more interested, potentially, just potentially, not financial advice, just what I'm thinking, that is going to put Ethereum in better terms with the government than Bitcoin is going to be. Compared to POWs, where miners expend a lot of electricity to spend, I think it was supposed to say spend, a lot of electricity to get their work done. Then the next thing is that anyone can participate, since there is no expensive investment in hardware required. So it all really, your reward depends on the amount of tokens that you have. So you don't need these crazy mining farms, whatever. Then it ensures more transactions per second, which is really questionable, something we'll talk about, and up to 100,000 compared to 64 transactions per second experienced with POW. So, I mean, this speaks for itself. Network transactions can be cheaper and faster with reduced gas costs. So, I mean, these benefits go on and on and on and on. So if this is gonna finally come to fruition, and if it's gonna finally become the reality for Ethereum, let's take a look at where it is. So basically what they're currently promising us is that this switch, because right now the testnet is live, so they're testing it already at this point, and the launch of the main testnet is also coming. So they're saying that if they're not going to see any major issues, any major problems with the test that they're currently running, then the main merge, the main huge shift of the main testnet of Ethereum to proof of stake could happen as early as August of this year. So this is the purple line right here. But that at the latest, if they're gonna see some delays and some issues as usually, then it could be actually delayed until the end of this year, which is about this purple line right here. So for that reason, I'm thinking that we might do whatever it is, you know, we can swing around, price in the merge, actually the market realizing that the merge is coming, and then finally at some point take off and reclaim the all-time highs. Because again, remember that this kind of a transition from actually to POS is going to also improve the factor of deflationary nature of the coin itself, and is going to put it Ethereum in good graces with the governments, which is going to put it on more on the radar of institutional money, mass adoption, etc. So all of that is, of course, really good and very beautiful. So for that reason, I bought some Ethereum today over on Bybit. But in reality, is the switch to proof of stake really the only thing? And the answer is really not, because even though a lot of people are saying that proof of stake is going to solve really all the problems of the world in terms of Ethereum, but in my honest opinion, it's not going to solve everything. I still think that there is going to be issues with congestion, and there's going to be issues with high gas fees. Because remember, the way Ethereum works, and currently it can process only a handful of transactions per second. So when there are a lot of people using Ethereum, it basically takes only those who are ready to spend more on the gas fees, and those are getting filled basically. So, and that means that when there is such huge demand and there is a bottleneck in the system itself, that costs of using that system and the actual gas fees is going parabolic. So for that reason, sometimes some gas fees on Ethereum network can be ridiculously expensive. So for us to see really Ethereum to go to something like $10,000, which by the way, guys and girls, is very possible, just to give you a small hint, as long as everything plays out. So for them to be able to have this kind of mass adoption, to bring in these people and become like Visa and MasterCard that can actually process like 100,000 transactions a second, they really need, in my opinion, more than POS. In my opinion, what they need is at least, let's just take a look as it was, I think, right here. So this is the Ethereum's roadmap. I think that's an older one, but it still represents exactly what I want to say here. So in the future, which still is basically the future at this point, and it's supposed to be here 2022, and the merge has to happen, and it becomes the proof of stake chain, etc. But then what it also requires is either rollups or rollups plus sharding. So rollups, sharding hasn't even started at this point yet, and they're saying that sharding is probably going to start in 2023, which is, again, I think that this is when also we're going to see the most, if it's going to come to fruition. I think that this is going to be the hugest also catalyst event for Ethereum, which is going to really take it really high. And this is the point when, plus the bull market of 2024, when we're going to see the halving or the next halving of Bitcoin, it could actually, Ethereum at that point could surpass Bitcoin in terms of market cap, in my personal honest opinion, if it all plays out. But let's quickly talk about things like Ethereum rollups. So basically, as I said, in my opinion, POS is not going to, proof of stake is not going to be really enough to push Ethereum to the point where it can actually process so many transactions a second that would actually be able to sustain mass global world adoption. So for that reason, what we need, for example, are rollups. And then subsequently sharding as well. So basically rollups are, it's like, if you think about it, they are taking, it's like processing transactions outside the main net of Ethereum. So, and this is when you're taking, for example, 10 transactions, you roll them up into one, basically into one roll up, so to speak. It's like a burrito. And then you pass it into the main net once again as one. So that basically enables you to scale the network 10x. As an example. So one of the projects that was recently listed, the first to be listed on Bybit as well, was this optimism.io. You can check them out, and this is which is supposed to help Ethereum scale. And Optimism is a low cost and lightning fast Ethereum level 2 blockchain. So basically this is one of the things that I'm currently talking about, and there are other ones like Zero Knowledge one, ZK. You've probably heard of ZK if you've studied level 2 scaling solutions for Ethereum. And there are certainly solutions right now, and they're working on it, and they are certainly having some promising results, and some in hindsight they are gonna probably come up with something that's gonna improve the scalability of Ethereum. This is what we need, and this is something that a lot of people are really not talking about. They're all talking about the merge, great, POS, but what about the rollups? What about the scalability of Ethereum network itself? Because POS is not going to be enough. And so basically a rollup to introduce a way to reduce these fees and increase transaction efficiency, developers have introduced a new solution. A rollup takes multiple Ethereum transactions and rolls them up into a single piece of data before submitting them to the blockchain. This process may not only save space, but also increase transaction speed and reduce the cost of the transaction. So basically, this is what is currently required. But then on top of it, there is sharding. And sharding, this is what we've seen right here, which is planned for 2023. And basically, when you use, and that's a lot of people also confuse rollups with sharding. And let's go and take a look at a really old Twitter post. By the way, follow me on Twitter, just a verified account. And a lot of people confuse, rollups with sharding. And as Vitalik has wrote himself, that so it's not rollups instead of sharding, it's rollups on top of sharding. That said, rollups are already here or coming soon, even before sharding, and rollups without sharding still offer that 100x increase, etc. So when we're gonna have rollups that work consistently and everything is great, then we can actually introduce sharding on top. And sharding, let's take a look at it here. And again, this is ethereum.org official page, and it says that it's planned for 2023 currently. Shard chains should ship sometime in 2023, depending on how quick work progresses after the merge. These shards will give Ethereum more capacity to store and access data, but they won't be used for executing code. So basically, what is sharding? Sharding is a process of splitting database horizontally to spread the load. It's a common concept in computer science. In the Ethereum context, sharding will reduce network congestion and increase transactions per second by creating new chains known as shards. So having all of this and understanding all of this, and assuming that all of that comes to fruition, it all works, and Vitalik is telling us the truth, which I'm inclined to believe so. What can we really expect from Ethereum? We have to understand that, in my personal humble opinion, currently the market cap of Ethereum is at around, let's quickly take a look at it. So let's go to ETH. Let's take a look at what's going on with it currently, the market capitalization, and also what we want is so market cap is at about $200 billion at this point, and the price is about $1,800. So in my honest, humble opinion, we can certainly go past $1 trillion in market cap for Ethereum in the coming, probably during 2023, considering that everything comes to fruition as promised by Ethereum and the developers team, in my honest, humble opinion. So again, not financial advice. And if it does, then it's going to take the price of Ethereum to roughly somewhere close to $8,000, so anywhere below 10K. So knowing all of this and considering this merge and sharding and rollups and just incredible improvements of the Ethereum ecosystem itself, we could certainly say that this could be, a huge catalyst and a huge thing that a lot of people will later say that I bought Ethereum before the merge happened and all the other improvements that they are currently having in their roadmap. The last one being sharding. So this is my honest take on this, and certainly take it with a grain of salt, but this is what I'm going to be certainly increasing knowing all of this, I'm going to be increasing my positions percentage-wise in my long-term investment portfolios. And if we're going to go lower in the short-term perspective, which is possible, the current monetary policy of the Federal Reserve and the money printer being off, then I certainly am going to dollar cost average, because with these kinds of huge plans, certainly poses an insane once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And when we talk about, the big question, whether Ethereum is going to ever surpass Bitcoin in terms of its market cap, and I think if it's going to happen, then I think it's going to happen in the next market cycle. So if we're going to take a look at, let's not do it here. So I think it's going to happen within like next 3-4 years. So after 2024, 2025 or so, I believe that if everything goes as planned, we could see Ethereum reclaim the throne. Let me know down in the comments if you agree with this or you disagree. And remember, if you want to support the channel, use all my affiliate links down in the description or in the pinned comment, or become one of my full-time students at my certified and accredited trading learning programs, which you can find at thomascrollo.com. It's a 5 months long trading education where you'll learn everything from active scalp trading, day trading and swing trading, to long-term investing, as well as portfolio building. And you'll learn fundamental analysis, macro analysis, on-chain analysis, technical analysis, risk and money management, trading psychology, trading statistics, trading algorithm development and following, and transition to real money trading from your practice stages, and all of it, like A to Z, 5 months long education. Check it out. And there is also a link to my free webinar down in the description. Peace and love. Thomas Crollo. Stay smart, stay rich. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.